Hi, long time no see. I haven't put out a video in quite a while, and basically it just kind of came down to I live in Ohio and I didn't really want to be outside cleaning rocks off in the winter, so I didn't get started again until spring. And then it hit me, I just don't want to make the same video over and over again. So I was really not sure what to do in terms of how to change things up, but a couple of things have happened giving me an idea. First of all, I got some questions, and that's what this video is going to be about. The two questions I got were, what are my favorite rocks to tumble, and have I made any mistakes? Oh my goodness. So I'm going to start with the mistakes. That one's a fun one. Of course I've made mistakes. I'm still making mistakes. Probably the biggest one I made was that one time I was putting rocks in the 12-pound rotary tumbler, and I filled it up, I put the grit in, I put the lid on, and I started it. I never put in water. I'm not even sure why, because I usually don't do this, but about 3 days later I actually opened it up and checked it. I can't remember if it sounded funny or something was going on. I usually don't. And at that point, I was usually letting it run for about 3 weeks without checking. Well, I opened it up. Oh my goodness, what a mess! Yeah, that took quite a while to clean up and to get the tumbler cleaned. And oh my goodness, what a mess! So yeah, there, and that was, fun mistake. Nobody got hurt, anything like that. But yeah, you make mistakes. It happens. Favorite rocks to tumble. Okay, well, here you go. I have a feeling most people don't want to look at me. You probably want to look at some rocks, so I'm going to move the camera and put it where you can see the rocks that I've got out. So it's going to take a couple of seconds to set this up. I'm going to try to move this so I can see what we're looking at. Okay, hold on a second. Here we go. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. What you're seeing there on the far left is just some rocks I brought out, and in the middle is the latest batch out of a new tumbler I got. And on the right are some of my favorites. Okay, starting out for favorite, probably Jasper is basically a great rock to tumble. I think this is pretty much all Jasper. We can see that well, but there you go. This is mostly Jasper. It tends to shine up really nicely. Tends to round well. Okay, let me see if I can get that to focus. There you go. Okay, it tends to round off really well. It's got great color. It's everything you're looking for in a rock to tumble. I think the main thing is rocks need to be hard. Okay, I know you can tumble soft rocks, but like if you have to have all soft rocks together. If you don't, it'll literally just grind it up. Another favorite of mine is carnelian. Okay, this is carnelian. Carnelian is another really neat rock that can get really shiny, and it's also translucent. I brought down a flashlight to show that. So if you look, you can see it's translucent. The light doesn't completely go through it, but it goes through it. Okay, here's another piece of carnelian. Okay, and that's another nice rock. My favorite for me is probably Tiger Eye. Tiger Eye has a thing called chatoyance. Chatoyance is when you look at the side of it, you can kind of see how the light goes through it a little bit weird. It's not really it's not translucent, but the light hits in really neat ways, and it does neat things. I haven't had as much luck with with tiger eyes I've had with, say, oh good gracious, with carnelian and jasper. Okay, sometimes you'll get pieces of tiger eye that when they come out they're a little bit frosted, like they'll have some white on them, stuff like that. Another thing that now here's another part about the rocks. Okay, I live in Ohio. I can't get jasper, tiger eye, or carnelian out in my backyard. So another thing you might want to think about is what you have available locally. This is flint. Okay, flint's another rock that tends to shine up really nicely. As a matter of fact, if you've watched my videos, I think this is the first batch that in the first videos I put up. I'm pretty sure it is. This is flint that I collected locally, well, about an hour and a half from where I live. And you don't usually see flint available in the places where you buy rocks. But yeah, depending on where you live, if you want to do jasper, carnelian, or tiger eye, you're probably going to have to buy it. And the only thing that I've collected locally for free, and I don't even know exactly what it is, okay, but I live really near the Ohio River. I've gone there and I've gathered this stuff. I basically call it river gravel. I'm pretty sure there's quartz of some sort in it. I call it quartzite. It's probably not quartzite. But this stuff can actually shine up really nicely. What I'm showing you now is it's done with step 1, and it's waiting to go into the new tumbler. So that's why it's wet. I try to keep the rocks wet, while they're not in the tumbler. I read that once you start tumbling them, you should keep them wet until they're done. So I try to. I don't know if that's completely true or not. So good ideas: jasper, carnelian, flint. Flint doesn't seem to be as readily available for some of the places you buy. Or you can experiment with the local stuff you find near where you live and see what you get. As far as where I've bought, I've gone with Gems by Mail. I've gone with the Rock Shop in South Dakota. Rock Shop's great. That's where I've bought all my tumblers. They usually have the best prices on tumblers. That's where I buy all my grit. I've also bought some rough from Kingsley North. So those are all places that I've got, and I have no complaints about any of them. Here's another piece of tiger eye. I don't know if this one shows the chatoyance better or not, but there you go. Alright, last thing, wrapping up, I want to show this last batch of rocks that I have finished. Okay, and this is from my new toy. I got a Lotto tumbler. It's a vibratory tumbler, and it's smaller. Oops, sorry about that if I'm making anybody seasick. It's much smaller than my tumblers, but it is a vibratory. Now the thing with a vibratory is you can't do step 1. You can't do the 60-90 grit with a vibratory. So if you buy a vibratory, you still have to have a rotary to do step 1 to do the rounding. Okay, and then once you get it out of the rotary, you can put it in the vibratory, and steps 2, 3, and 4 go much faster, and you can see it does a fantastic job. This is tiger eye. This is one of those rocks I was telling you about that I got from the river, and it came out really nicely. This is a piece of smoky quartz, and that's another one that I've not had really good luck with overall, but boy, when it comes out, is it nice. I don't know if I have another piece handy or not. I did bring down another piece of tiger eye. See if that chatoyance shows. It's really hard to know in the video if it's going to show. Here's a piece of red tiger eye. If I'm not mistaken, red tiger eye is gold tiger eye that has been heat treated, and that's what makes it red. Here's a piece of hawk's eye, which is like basically blue tiger eye. And I've really not had great luck with it. This piece came out really nicely out of the Lotto, so I'm really encouraged with the Lotto tumbler. Last thing I want to mention, once again, a thank you to the two people who asked questions. That was awesome. I also want to say, hey, I'm not claiming to be an expert. I'm absolutely not. I'm happy to share what I've found out, and you know, if you see something I'm doing wrong or you know better than I do, please do comment and tell me. And last thing I want to mention before I wrap up, if you have not seen the guy Michigan Rocks on YouTube, you need to go watch that guy. And if you have, how come no one told me? That guy is really good. He uses a Lotto tumbler. That's where I got the idea. He has a cabbing setup and a slab saw, which I don't have that. You know, I don't have that kind of stuff. He's definitely a lot more into this than I am, and he's done a series of videos recently where he goes through a box of rocks, kind of like what I had here, and he looks at all the rocks in that box and talks about it. And boy, some of the beautiful rocks he has tumbled, and some of the great results he's gotten. Okay, so basically, thanks a lot for the questions, and happy tumbling.